Welcome to Horror Story, where the shadows of night come alive. Turn off the lights, plug in your earphones, and let the darkness speak. Hit subscribe because the next tale is waiting to haunt you. This story is titled Be Aware of What You Eat, a chilling tale from the 90s. Picture a sleepy village in the north of India in the 90s, a place so remote it feels like the edge of the world. Dusty roads, wind through the endless fields, old houses leaning under the weight of time, and the air buzzes with secrets no one dares to speak aloud. This isn't some campfire tale, it's real, passed down in my family like a ghost that won't leave. I wasn't born yet, but I have heard it so many times. It's like I can feel the grip of cold from that year. This is the story of my aunt, Priya, and a ball of cursed food and the evil that almost swallowed her whole. Priya was my dad's sister, a bright eyed woman in her 20s who had just married my uncle Raju. They were crazy in love, dreaming of a future with their first kid on the way. They moved into a rundown rental, an old stone house in the village called Khedapur, owned by a creepy old couple, Girish and Veena. Think of them as the kind of landlords you did see in a horror flick, stingy, nosy, and with a smile that never felt right. The neighbors warned about them, how they did swindle anyone, how their greed twisted them into something sour. But Priya and Raju were broke and desperate, so they signed the lease and tried to make it home. My aunt was 5 months pregnant, glowing despite the dusty heat of that summer. Raju, my uncle, worked long shifts at the local factory, leaving her alone in the creaky house most days. The landlords lived right next door, always watching through cracked windows. Their whispers were carried by the wind. It gave Priya the creeps, but she brushed it off until that one afternoon that changed everything. It was a sticky July day when Veena showed up at the door, her bony hands clutching a clay ball covered with a grimy rag. She said, "Made you some lentil and rice." She rasped, her voice like dry leaves scraping the pavement. "Good for the baby. Cooked it with butter." Girish lurked behind her, his smirk twitching like he knew something she didn't. Priya forced a smile, not wanting to seem rude. She took the bowl, but she felt like something was off. The air felt heavy, and a faint, rotten whiff hit her nose. Inside, she picked under the rag. The food looked normal, steaming, and golden. But that smell, it wasn't right. She dipped her finger in, tasted a tiny bit, and gagged. It wasn't just bitter, it stung. It felt like poison. Shaking her head, she shoved it aside, figuring she did skip her lunch. That night, all hell broke loose. Raju jolted awake, heart slamming against his ribs. Priya was thrashing on the mattress. Her pregnant belly was heaving as she clawed at the air. Her eyes were wide, darting like she saw something he couldn't. "Priya!" he yelled, grabbing her. She froze, her head whipping towards him, and then she laughed. Not her sweet giggle, but a jagged, unhinged crackle that sounded like it came from somewhere deep and dark. Her voice split in two. Hers, soft, scared, layered under was a growling rasp that wasn't human. "She is ours now," it snarled, and her lips twisted into a grin that made Raju's skin crawl. He stumbled back, gasping, Priya, what is happening? But she didn't answer. She lunged upright, clawing at nothing, then crumpled, sobbing like a lost child. By morning, she was herself again, brushing it off as a nightmare. But Raju felt as if something was off. The next night, it got worse. Tia bolted from the bed, pacing the room like a wild animal. That deep voice roared through her again. You can't stop us. She slammed her fist into the wall again and again, blood streaking through the stone. Raju yanked her back, but her strength was unreal, like something else was powering her. Her eyes were different, just black, empty holes that were staring into nothing. Their lives became a living nightmare. Inside the house, Priya was a stranger. She would scream until her voice cracked, half her and half that thing, ranting in words Raju didn't understand, guttural and ancient. She would scratch her arms bloody, whispering about shadows that loomed over her, promising to drag her down. But stepping outside, she was fine, shaky, terrified, but herself. It's in there, she whimpered, pointing at the house. It's waiting for me. Raju caught the landlords watching through the windows. Girish's bony face pressed to the glass, Veena's eyes glinting like a hawk. When he stormed over, demanding answer, Veena just laughed. Pregnant women lose it sometimes, she said, shrugging. Girish mumbled about crazy talk and slanked away. But their smirks said they knew more than they let on. The horror hit a new peak one night. Raju woke up to a shadow over him. Tia was standing there, kitchen knife shaking in her grip, tears streaming down her face, but that growl came through. She dies, you are free. He wrestled the knife away as she screamed, a sound so raw it shook the wall. Morning came, and she didn't remember a thing, just stared at the cut on her hand and confused. Doctors were stumped, saying she was healthy, shrugging at the voices, the freakish strength, the way it happened inside. Raju was falling apart, lighting candles to chase off the dark. But the house felt alive, its walls pulsing with something evil. The village buzzed. Some said ghost, some said curse, but no one stepped up to help them. Then one night came the breaking point. Priya shot upright in the bed, her neck twisted at a sick angle. Then a raspy voice growled, the old witch has poisoned her. Wants her gone. Wants you for her kid. Her hand clamped Raju's wrist, nails digging deep. They fed her death. It hissed before she collapsed, sobbing. Raju, save me. It clicked. Veena had a daughter, Kamla, a bit of loner, who had her eyes on Raju like he was a prey. The food, the timing, the landlord's creepy calm. This wasn't random. It felt like a setup. Raju called my grandpa, a tough as nails guy who had faced down plenty of weirdness. He didn't hesitate. He tracked down a priestess named Mataji, a legend in those parts for fighting the supernatural. She rolled in at the sunrise, a fierce woman in red robes, her face streaked with crimson powder, her eyes burning like she could see through souls. She carried a bag of herbs and charms, radiating power as she stormed into the house. The place reacted. Mataji sniffed the air, scowling. Something's rotten here, she snapped. Raju spilled everything, the food, the possession, the landlord's stares. Her jaw tightened. They tied a spirit to her, she said. Fed it hate through the dish. We will be burning it out. For 2 weeks, it was like war. Mataji's voice boomed, mantras clashing with Priya's scream. She splashed some blessed water, burned some herbs that smoked up the room, and tied red strings around Priya's wrists. Priya fought, her body twisting, the voices bellowing curses from some ancient hell. You will all burn, it roared. The air thickened, shadows flickering on the wall like they were alive. The landlords freaked. Girish banged on the door, yelling to stop this madness, while Veena screeched from the yard. On day 10, Mataji faced them down. You have cursed her food, she growled. Wanted her crazy or dead. Admitted, they stammered, sweating. But the truth oozed out in their panic. Word spread. They had messed with some dark magic, bargaining with something nasty to get their way. On day 14, it finally broke. Priya's scream faded to whimpers, then silence. The voices were gone, the shadow gone. Mataji, drenched in sweat, nodded. It's over. Priya blinked herself again. The blackness drained from her eyes. The house felt empty, but the cost was brutal. Months later, Priya's baby boy was born. Still, silent, his little body locked stiff. The doctors called it stillborn. No reason why. We knew. The curse had clawed one last time. They ditched that house after that. The landlords gone within weeks. Their stuff left behind like they had bolted in the dark. Some say the village had turned on them. Others swear that the things they summoned took them away. No one has seen them since. We don't talk about it much now, but sometimes, late at night, someone brings it up, and the fear creeps back in. Priya's still with us, quieter, always glancing at the shadows. That house is a ruin now, empty, avoided. Sometimes, whispering screams can be heard in the moonless night. Evil doesn't always die. Sometimes it just waits for you to be hungry. If you like this kind of story, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Horror Story.